So for Elliot's second goal is he is really working on self-advocacy right now, which is
So
just,
hard for him.
yeah, it's just a great goal for him. And as we take a look back over the course of this IEP year, we really were working on some of those very initial steps, some of those very foundational skills. And so he is showing that he's able to gain attention of an authority figure or a staff member throughout the school building, and using more of that like neutral tone of voice that we would want to see an exchange back and forth with.
Not yelling anymore.
Yeah, he's
been much better in the classroom.
okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Much better.
He is doing a pretty great job trying to describe his point of view and advocating for what he wants. And so it's great that we've seen some of this growth since initially when we sat around this table about a year ago. He was, again, just working on very early stages of this part of the goal. So it's great to hear some of that progress, and also carrying into Miss Woodward's classroom as well. So he really is able to complete on average about 3 of the 6 steps. So I did want to share with you, I brought along his progress monitoring graph. And so we're monitoring this throughout some natural opportunities that he has. So just organic everyday opportunities that he has throughout the school day. And I collaborate with Miss Woodward when he's in her classroom, of course. And so I just have some data here right now. And it does show that Elliot, this does appear to still be a need for him since he's not quite mastered all of those skills. And we, if you recall, we chatted back in February, and I really had proposed, we're trying to, kind of change his group and see if we could provide a different or better opportunity for him to gain these skills. And then with that though, I see that need for him to really master more of these skills. A peer his same age typically would be able to do about 5 of the 6 skills, almost 6 of the 6 skills. And so we'd like to get him to that point. And, I know he's only in 2nd grade, but just like projecting out really long term. And I think about all of us sitting around here as adults at the table, we all use self-advocacy in our day-to-day. And so when I think of, yes, little Elliot, but Elliot, when he is, post-graduation, self-advocacy is just going to be an incredible lifelong skill for him. So I'd like to propose to the team that we continue working on some of these last areas of the skills that he doesn't quite have. Currently, right now, he sees me. I provide those social skills with him 3 times a week. So I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I just like to propose doing that every day with him instead of just 3 times a week. I think we've, tried a couple different variables, and we've tweaked some things like changing his group. And I just think he might need a little bit more of that direct target service. Again, I just think that this is such a critical lifelong skill for him. So I'd like for us to work on mastering that. Okay. With that said, since he'll be with me for all 5 times a week, he would miss out on some other what I need time with some of his other classroom peers. So they're going to be working on some things that are struggling and hard for them. And he'll be with me in my group, and we'll work on some of the areas that he needs to work on.
Okay.
Sound okay?
Yeah, so I know back in February when we changed his group, one of the things we talked about was that you thought that having fewer students in the group would help him kind of like stay motivated and paying attention. Are you thinking that like with 5 days that he'd still stay in a group about that size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I have, it works out just great.
I think he did make some good progress between February and now. So I just was curious about what that might look like.
Yeah, good question. Absolutely. And I think as all of us have really gotten to know Elliot this year, he does really good when he is in those smaller group settings, especially when he's working on something that is challenging for him. So Miss Woodward, you might have some further insight.
Yeah, I think that, during that what I need time, I do have a lot of students in the classroom at that time, working in a lot of different groups. And because he's only coming a couple days a week, he can sometimes have a hard time, transitioning and, really getting in the groove of the routine in the group. So I think, sure. So I do think that consistency will be really helpful for him. And there isn't anything significant in terms of classroom instruction that he would be missing by increasing that service. So I think that would be great, and seeing him continue to gain some skills here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll see a new goal reflected in his IEP, and there'll be that service minute increase as well. So I'll make sure that I outline all of that though in the prior written notice, so that you have context and information for that.
Great.
Awesome.